strange story that broke today during some kind of a press conference that Pete Hegseth was doing with a Qatari, the Qatari defense minister, and they were reviewing different things. Hegseth mentioned that they were signing a deal between the United States and Qatar to establish a facility, it turns out a training facility, for the Qatari Air Force in the United States at the Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho, where Qatari pilots will be trained on flying and operating F-15s. I mean, this is just bizarre. Why is Qatar opening a base within an American base in America? I mean, they could be invited to come and be trained in F-15s at an American base. They don't need their own base for that. It's just bizarre. The extent to which this administration has this really, really, really close relationship with Qatar. Obviously, President Trump got the $400 million jet from them. Of course, the United States for a long time has had a big military Air Force base in Qatar, the largest in the Middle East. But and Trump put a lot of pressure on the Qataris to put pressure on Hamas, which seems to be successful, at least for now. But now they're opening up a military base on American soil. It's just strange. Maybe one of you will tell me, no, it's done all the time, and other countries have military bases in the United States. I doubt that. Add to that the fact that Qatar is not exactly a real ideological ally. Maybe it's an ally, vis-a-vis certain conflicts in the Middle East. But this is a emirate, a kingdom, in other words, not exactly a individual rights protecting, republic. It is the largest funder of Muslim Brotherhood organizations in the world, Muslim Brotherhood being the fountainhead of all Sunni terrorist organizations out there, Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Hamas and all of them. And Qatar supports them, houses them, gives them a home. It is also the base of Al Jazeera, a Islamist publication that's explicitly anti-Western and undermines Western values and rallies Islamists all over the world to the cause of Islam, particularly in Europe and in the United States, undermining Western civilization. And yet, they're our best friends. We're so close to them now that they're literally opening up a military base in Idaho. Now, this is so crazy and so nutty and so weird that that people who are crazy, weird, and completely nutty are noticing this. So, out of nowhere, I find myself agreeing with Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer, yes. Loomer, Looney Loomer. Looney Laura. Laura, Looney, Loomer, whatever, right? This is what she tweeted. Never thought I'd see Republicans give terror financing Muslims from Qatar a military base on U.S. soil so they can murder Americans. All right, she's a little exaggerating, but, I get the sentiment. I don't think I'll be voting in 2026. I cannot, in good conscience, make any excuses for the harboring of jihadis. This is where I draw the line. Well, this is where Laura Loomer draws the line. Laura Loomer, this has gone really far, right? What do the Qataris have on this administration? What do the Qataris have on the Republicans? How are they managing to do this? And with very little objection, with nobody raising anything except Laura Loomer. Now, there were a lot of, on Twitter, there was a lot of surprise at this. But, Trump is probably playing 5D chess or something like that. Yeah, Laura Loomer's upset. So yes, there is this Qatari base. I don't know what it means. I don't know the details, but I'll be training. There's a version of the F-15s that's specially for Qatar. It's an advanced version, and they'll be trained in that version, right there in Idaho. If you live in Idaho, if you start seeing a bunch of Qataris around, now you know why they are there.